So I do. It's probably the thing that I always point to when people ask, like, what led you to be interested in education? So I was a middle school student in Florida. And in my seventh grade science class, we had the opportunity to be able to create a science fair project. In Florida, science fair is a statewide effort, so all middle schoolers participate in selecting a project, executing a project, creating your standard science poster board, and then presenting it at the school level. So the reference of the teacher was, we have books available. You're welcome to select from one of those. I flipped through the books and there wasn't really anything that resonated with me. I didn't want to test which tennis ball was the bounciest, or which bubble gum could blow the biggest bubble. So I thought about an issue that I had with my school lunch, which was my apples would be sliced up in the morning, and by the time I'd get to them at lunchtime, they'd be all brown and disgusting. And I was like, I want to figure out a solution for keeping my apples from oxidizing and turning brown, so that they're more appealing. So that was really my opportunity to then say, so what's your mechanism to ask the question, develop a hypothesis? I thought maybe the vitamin C content could have something to do with stopping oxidation. And then I created my own little experiment and methodology of slicing apples and using different fruit juices that have different vitamin C content to be able to decide if any of those would help address my underlying issue of disgusting apples in my lunchbox. So it stands out to me because I had a lot of ownership over that project because it was mine. I created it. No one told me this is exactly what you have to do. I had that opportunity to define it. And then the second piece of it being, it was something I cared about. I wanted better apples. And so through that lens of having that investment early on is what I would reference as probably my earliest or standout moment for personalized competency-based learning as a kid. So I made a poster board and it had a huge old apple on it, and I had a great title. It was called Aging Apples. And as a part of that, I presented at the school level, and this was back in the day of like participation merit. And so basically they gave 80% of us a like honorable mention. And then they ranked like the top 20 projects because this was a larger school. So I was not in the top 20, but I did get an honorable mention. And so I got to take my cute little project to the county level to be able to compete if I so chose. And I was like, sure, why not? So I show up at county and I have, again, like a student-made poster board. You can see that other people have probably gotten help related to the quality of their presentation. But I was like, no, I'm really proud of my project and felt like I could speak to it because it was mine. And I presented and I won the botany effort at the county level, and I got to go to state, which was just really exciting to me. It's the first time I got validation that I could be good at science, and ultimately science is the degree I chose to pursue when I went to college. So it really made a difference in my life in terms of not just the learning, but then the outcome and the validation that this was something that I could pursue as a future area of interest and career.